Yo, what is up guys? This is Lost Griff. Welcome back to another video. Today's video, unfortunately no face cam, but I'm going to be talking about something that's quite important for I believe the sake of the PvE community, as we have been talking a lot recently about school identity, where schools are, what schools in specific are doing, and honestly just the strength of every school. I've been talking about it in all my videos recently. And this is something I really did want to talk about because I do feel like this is a big problem for the game. This affects a lot of people's ability to enjoy certain schools, and I just want to talk about that straight up. But before I get started in the video, I only have a small percent of people who actually watch my videos who are actually subscribed. I appreciate if you guys go drop the sub as well as press the like button real quick, because that helps my channel interaction a lot. As I've been uploading almost daily, I would really appreciate your support and feedback. Because honestly I love hearing that. So anyway guys, let's get into the video. Today guys, we're going to be talking about the effects of stun immunity in Wizard101. Now this is something I don't see talked about very often. I've seen so many Wizard101 threads, so many Reddit posts, I've seen so many people saying stun immunity is such a problem. And as you guys know, just to go over a few of the stun spells, for example, some of the most popular ones are choke, freeze, stun, and I forget what the myth AoE one is, but they're all just very important parts of the game. And while I do understand that there are a lot of stun cheese strats in the game, and that stun immunity has just kind of shut that down, there also does become that spot where it's like, okay, there still needs to be some sort of useful utility that's meant for choke, because from my personal experience, you know, traps aren't specific to one school, blades aren't specific to one school, etc. Healing over times, damage over times. Sure, a few of them may be restricted, but overall, you know, there's not really many cheats that combat DOTs or healing over times very often, which are specific to certain schools. For example, only Storm only Storm in Life is accessible to healing over times, and only Fire and Myth and maybe a few others with niche spells are able to access over times. So why are stuns, which are something that are exclusive to three schools, so why is such a popular status effect that is such a commonly used spell not more expanded upon in PvE world? Now you guys might be thinking stun immunity is the way to do that, but unfortunately it creates a loss of boss identity. For example, if I'm playing against like the biggest boss in the game, right? He's massive, he's freaking big arms, bro, or like he's like, I don't know, it's like old Cobb's like son or something, like one of his like foes. I get that, you know what I mean? They're big or they're powerful, they get stun immunity. But it's getting to this point now where every single even remotely significant boss past Arc 1 is just stun immune, and there's no point in using stuns at that point. And it kind of takes away the situationality you had where you could just stun and then do whatever you wanted. I feel like certain bosses should have different stun immunities and different stun resistances. I feel like different bosses should have all unique stun resistances instead of just some of them just having full 100% stun resistance / immunity. I do feel like there should be bosses that specifically play on stuns and have stun vulnerability in order to be easier to beat. You know what I mean? I also feel like there's certain bosses that should have, you know, let's say this boss that's going to be immune, instead of just having them be immune and you don't really know, why don't they just like put up like permanent lasting shield that basically never makes them get stunned or something? Like kind of like a rework of the stun block that only cheating bosses had, where they could basically just have a permanent stun block that like is like protected. Or maybe they could do some sort of thing where they have an Aegis stun block or something that only bosses can access, where it's basically acts as 4 stun blocks because they can't get to the protection. Like stuff like that is like great ideas that I feel like are very easy to think of for KI members, and I feel like it makes it a lot more simple for the game and the players itself, you know? Because I do feel like there is a disappointment where I go into a boss with 2 people and I'm like, okay, we can probably win this a lot easier if I have choke. And I have to Google with Wizard101 Central and find out, you know, that spell is not very accessible. That spell that's, you know, wasting up one of my slots in my fire inventory pretty much never gets used whenever it actually matters. And that's unfortunate because I do feel like stun is a big part of this game. You know, sure, there's like games out there, like, dumb example to make, but you know, Elden Ring and Dark Souls, certain bosses past a certain point just do not get stunned. And that's fair, I get that. I get where they're coming from with that, but it's like, you're so early in the game to not even be able to use such an important utility to so many schools, especially schools like Ice, who, you know, have Frost Giant and give up an extreme amount of utility. You give up an extreme amount of damage just to have a tiny bit of utility they pretty much never get to use against most bosses. The only real argument against this, I would say, is that most minions are stunnable, and that's important. But I just do feel like there should be a chance for bosses to be stunned, or at least for there to be more awareness that they're not stunnable. For example, like I said, a just stun block feature is a great idea. Again, certain bosses having set stun resist percentages would be cool, instead of just like maybe like certain bosses early in the game have like 10% or 15%, and then later on they get maybe like 40%, 30% base. So I mean, even though there is RNG in it, and I mean, it sucks to have RNG, at least you could somewhat rely on it for it to be, you know, successful. And even then, I mean, that's not even necessary. I'm just saying, if you want to do it in the Wiz way, where you just add RNG for no reason, that's pretty much how you do it, right? So I don't know, I just feel like it's definitely a feature that's been overlooked, you know, the factor of stunning people and being able to get a lead off that, being able to play with your team using the stun effects. Just very much a slept on mechanic in Wiz, something that I've seen people ask for so long to be expanded upon. Well, okay, I'd love to see what you guys would have out there to do to stuns. I feel like it's a feature that's very important to the general ability for, you know, tanks to be able to help their teammates survive, or being able to stall out a very important first round or something like that. Just in general, I would definitely think it'd be a cool idea and a great quality of life feature, for especially for fire and myth wizards who have those stuns. I'm remembering the name now is Blinding Light, Fire, Ice, you know, people who, like, of course, Stormlord matters too. I mean, Frostbite, all those schools, I mean, it feels sad. It makes me sad that I feel like majority of the usage that stun should have is being wasted. Ultimately, guys, that's my opinion for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video about stuns. I'm sorry it was a little bit brief. I kind of want to make it an interesting short little commentary video talking about how stun resist, stun immunity, and all that stuff factors into the game. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Peace out.
Bye.